Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. My name is Sarah Fairclough, and I'm a member of the Platform Solutions team here at SmartSimple. So today we're going to be going over a few of SmartSimple's best little known secrets. I'm joined by a few of my team members. I'll let them introduce themselves in a minute. So just as usual, we'd love to hear your questions, love to hear what you're thinking. We will do a Q&A session. It just won't be until the end. So please post your questions throughout and we'll do our best to answer all of them. As well, the session is being recorded and there will be a copy of the video, or the link rather, will be sent to you all if you've registered, and it will be posted on our YouTube channel. It just takes about a week to get everything edited and uploaded. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Garrett. Thanks so much.
Sure, thank you. So my name is Garrett Alford. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Platform Solutions Manager here at SmartSimple, and it's nice to meet you all. Today I'm going to be discussing some of our features surrounding our multiple file upload fields. So just to give a little recap on those fields, I'm sure many of you know about our multiple file upload fields in SmartSimple, and these can be used to store one or multiple documents to a field that can be included on records of any type. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here just to show you an example of one of these multiple file upload fields. So let's go to this financials tab here on this organization record. And here we have some multiple file upload fields. So firstly, just as an example, perhaps your multiple file upload fields look like this, where the uploads can all be different titles here. Perhaps the naming convention is not standardized or enforced here. However, in SmartSimple Cloud, we do have this handy feature where we can standardize our naming conventions for our multiple file upload fields. And just to show you an example here, this I-990 field that you see here is an example of a standardized naming convention that we're enforcing on this field. So just to talk through it here, we have stamped the organization name here. We're also stamping the title of the upload, which is I-990, as well as the date that it was uploaded and a version number. That can all be done within SmartSimple automatically, so that no matter what the titles of these documents were prior to being uploaded, they will be renamed automatically upon being uploaded to this particular field. So let's have a look at how we can actually enable this on a field. So firstly, I will go into this field here where I have not enabled my standardized naming convention, and I'll just delete some of these uploads here so that we can start from scratch. And I will go into my tools here and go into configuration mode. I am signed in as system administrator, so I do have access to my configuration mode. So here I'm going to hover over the field that I would like to edit here. And whenever it loads, I will have access to this field settings. Now I will simply scroll down here, and what you'll see is we have our uploaded file will be renamed to field. And this is where you can include your naming convention. One thing that I want to mention is that you can include variables within this naming convention to stamp particular information, record-specific information to this particular upload field, or the uploads to these upload fields, excuse me. So let's go ahead and enforce a standardized naming convention here. I'd like to stamp the name of this organization firstly. So I'll go ahead and use my variable for name. I'm going to use an underscore so that I can have a document title without any spaces here. And then I can go ahead and put in the title for this upload, which will be financial documents here, and another underscore. And then lastly, I just want to also stamp the current date that this was uploaded on. So let's go ahead and include a variable for that. So let's say date and current date here. And then let's go ahead and end that variable. And when we're satisfied, we can just press save here. So here we've saved our changes. And let's go ahead and reload our frame and navigate back to that field so that we can test out those changes. So here I'm going to go ahead and upload another file. Let's go ahead and go into my test documents here. And let's just grab one of these to give it a try. I will go ahead and upload that. And we will go ahead and see how that is named. It is named with the title of the organization, perfect. Financial documents worked as well, and the current date. So that is one way that you can enforce a standardized naming convention. I also want to mention that we can also enforce version numbers. So just to show you what that looks like, here we have the version numbers stamped as well. That can allow you to upload multiple files that could be the same title and include a different version number. Let's just go ahead and once again enter our settings for that field. And then let's scroll down until we see this toggle that says keep version. If I go ahead and toggle that on and press save, then we will be able to keep those version numbers appended to the end of the title as well. That's as easy as it gets as far as including versioning. So just a toggle and a save, and we have now enabled versioning on this multiple file upload field. Another thing that I want to mention is we can also enforce only allowed file types for this particular upload field. So if I would like to only have PDFs, I could list out PDF here. If I would like to also allow Word documents, I could also list out doc or docx files as well. Alrighty, so that's just a little bit about our standardized naming conventions. And what we also have, as of just a few upgrades ago, is also our ability to include a description for our file uploads. And this is great because it allows our users to include some context surrounding these uploads. If they're uploading multiple files to a particular field, perhaps they'd like to include some context surrounding each upload so you can see maybe some information surrounding those. All you have to do for that is just go ahead and once again enter into your field settings, scroll down to the toggle for enable description on uploaded files and toggle that on. When we press save here, I will just go ahead and reload the frame once again. Once I exit my configuration mode, I've reloaded my frame, and let's navigate back to that particular field. And we can also add a description here, and it appears to be working. One other thing we can do is we can also enforce this description as mandatory. That's as simple as, once again, going into that field settings and toggling on that mandatory description particular setting on that field. Alrighty, so that's just a little bit about our actual multiple file upload fields. And the last thing that I'd like to discuss is a lesser known feature of SmartSimple, and that is our one-click download. So just to show you what that could look like, here I have an example loaded. This is from a list view. So here we have our master list of our applications. Of course, we're able to filter using our filters here, or also our advanced search filters as well. And we also have a column, as you can see here, where with just one click, we can download the files that have been uploaded to that particular field for this particular record. So if I just click into this, I will then download that PDF that has been included in this field. So to enable this is very simple. It's as simple as navigating to your list view settings. And there are a couple of ways to do that. Here I've just gone to a different system here so I can show you how to enable it in this particular list view. I can enter the UTA or module settings and navigate to our list view from there by simply going to the entity tab and scrolling down to list views. Another way that I can do the exact same thing is I can actually simply use our list view selector here. As you can see, I'm on my default list view, and I will simply open that drop down. And as you can see, we now have our wrench icons beside our particular list views. All I have to do to edit my list view that I'm looking at right now is simply select that wrench icon, and I can open up the list view settings for this exact list view. It's as simple as just adding a column to a list view. Very simple and easy to do.
Hi, so my name is Morgan. I'm a platform solutions specialist at SmartSimple, and I'm going to be going over a few visualization features that you may not know about in the system. So the first feature is the activity chart view within a record. This feature allows you to view a chart showing the progression of activities for a specific record. You can use this feature on any UTA level 1 record that has level 2 activities associated with it. The activities do need to have date fields in order for the feature to work. So you can access this feature by going to any of the activity tabs within your level 1 record. I'm just going to go to other activities. Once you're there, you can see that there's a show chart view button. So once you click this, it'll give you a timeline of the progression of activities for the specific record. And then you can actually highlight a specific period of time and kind of zoom in to that sense of time. And you can hover over each activity to see a bit more detail on the status and the name and the specific date. And then to get back to the main view, you can just click Reset Zoom. So this feature is automatically enabled, and it's a great way to see the progression of your record over time. The next feature I want to show you is the allocation flowchart. So the allocation chart feature provides a graphic display of budget data, and you can access this feature by going to your budget or fund manager in your system. And you can access it by selecting either one or multiple different budgets. In this case, I'm going to select all of them. And once I do that, there's an allocation chart button that appears on your screen. You can click on that, and it displays a chart kind of showing the total for all of your budgets, as well as each specific budget and the fund associated with that budget. And there's a few different views you can use. This is the allocation view. You can also do the committed amount, and this will showcase every application with a payment in the approved or scheduled status and the associated funds and budget. You can also see the paid amount, which shows all of the applications with paid status payments. And then finally, there's the available amount, and this is the remaining amount within each fund and each budget. So again, this feature is automatically enabled in your system, and it's just kind of a nice way to look at how your budget is being allocated into different funds within your system. The last feature I want to touch on today is BI dashboards. This feature actually allows you to display your information through 6 different charts, and it's kind of a really easy way to visualize and analyze your data. And you can create one for any of your different UTAs, and you can do that by going into the configuration settings for the specific UTA. And under the General tab, you can scroll down to Features and Extensions, and then click on BI Dashboard. And then here you can create new ones. I'm going to go into an existing one. And you're able to give it a name, an internal description. And then once you click Save, it'll actually generate a link that you can create a shortcut to use on one of your portals. So once you go to the chart field mappings, that's where you actually are able to specify the information that you're going to use in your dashboard. So you have the start date and end date where you can select fields that show the start and end date for the returned data. And this information will be used in the line chart. And then you have your fields to group by, where you're able to select optional fields you wish to aggregate the charts through, and these options will be your x-axis options in the charts. And then you have your fields to measure, which is where you can select a set of fields to use as measurements to the charts, and these will be your y-axis options. And then finally, you have your address in map panel. So there is a map panel within the dashboard, and you can choose where to pull your address information from. It could be the client company associated with the record or the owner. And then if you want to filter the information a bit more, you can choose specific statuses and types. So I'm just going to preview the dashboard, and now you can see all the information displaying that you preset back here. So you have your line chart pulling your date information, you have your map panel, and then for your bar chart and your donut chart and your scatter plot, you're able to get a bit more specific. So for the group by option, this is where you can choose from the 3 options you set earlier, or you can choose some preset options. So I'm going to go with type. And then you're also able to choose from the 2 measure by options as well. And then the drill down option gives you the ability to, when clicking into a specific grouping, see some more detailed information for that grouping. So if I reload, it'll now be showing me groupings by type. And if I click into that, it'll show me the specific organization names within that type. And I can just go back to total here. And it's the same functionality for your bar chart and your donut chart and your scatter plot. And then you also have your spiderweb chart where you can set an axis based on the group by options, and you can see the data for your measured by options here. You're also able to expand the charts if you want, as well as print them and download them in various formats. So BI dashboards are really easy to use, and I think they personally look great. And the feature is enabled for all of your UTAs, so it's easily accessible. So that's it for my 3 features today. I'm going to pass it over to Banky, who's going to talk about some list view features.
Hi, everyone. My name is Banky, and I'm also a member of the Platform Solutions team. Today, I'm going to be focusing on some really cool list view features. The very first one that I'd like to talk about would be the bulk download files. And this basically lets you download each of the files that have been uploaded into the appropriate field in each record as a zip file. And so for you to be able to use this or have this button available, you have to go into the list view settings and then scroll down and make sure that this button is toggled on. And then once you save, you then have this button available, and it gives you the option to select as many records as you'd like. And so once you click on the download files button, you then have the option to select the number of fields containing those files. And then once you click on download, it basically downloads a zip folder containing folders for each of those records. And then in each record, it contains folders for each of those fields. And then in each folder, it contains those files that you're trying to download. So it's very useful for downloading multiple files at the same time. The very next feature that I'd like to talk about would be the row hover options feature. And for you to optimally use this feature, you first need to go into your global settings and make sure that this feature is available or enabled for that particular user. So you go into the security tab and then the system feature permissions. And here you also go into the features tab, and there's a lot of features. So I'm just gonna search for the tab one and make sure that the enable tab bar is turned on or enabled for that particular user or role. Once that's been enabled, you can then go into the users menu and enable the tab bar. And it gives you this little tab bar at the bottom here that you can have multiple records open in. So if I go into this list view, for example, I'll then go into the settings, the view settings to enable the row hover option for that list view. And you just need to scroll to the very bottom and make sure that this option is enabled for that particular list view. Once you save and you go back to the list view, you should see two little icons on the far right-hand side of each record. This one gives you the option to open this record in a model window where the list view is still in the background, and then you have the record open here. And then this button here lets you actually open it in a new tab. So it appears here as a new tab at the very bottom, where you have the list view still available in the first tab, and you can open multiple records. So they're all open and you don't have to keep scrolling back and forth. Another useful feature would be the enable split screen, which is automatically enabled in your system. And so that way you're able to, at the same time, have your list view of records on the left-hand side, and you can click on each record to have it open on the right-hand side. So you can scroll down and click through any record and it'll get populated on the right-hand side. You can also scroll through your records by clicking on this top arrow on the top right to go through each of those records. So that's a very cool feature to help you in opening records, all at the same time or one at a time, and have them open in either a split screen or in different tabs. The very last feature is the one that lets you basically enable the map panel, and this feature basically takes each record on a list and plugs in the associated address to create a geographical visual of where the clients are. It basically converts address details into latitude and longitude coordinates and integrates with Google Maps. I'm going to show you what it kind of looks like. Excuse me. And then I'll also let you know how to turn this feature on. So you just need to go into the list view settings as per usual, and then go to the very right-hand corner, which is or right-hand tab, which is the proximity search, and then toggle that on to enable the map and proximity search. In here, you'd have to select the address that's used for the proximity calculation, and it can either be the organization's address, the applicant's address, the UTA or the foundation staff's address. And then you also have to select the default address used to filter the proximity against. So it can be the user's current location or the user's address in your system or the user's organization's address. In this case, I'm going to use my current location. You can also add, different fields on the map marker. So when you click on the actual record, it'll show this piece of information for those records. So once you click on save, you see here that you have your list view of records on the left-hand side, and then you also have this Google Maps on the right-hand side. This is very interactive, and so you can zoom in and zoom out. I'm currently not close to any of these records, but if I go ahead and zoom out, you then start to see them populate, all over. And so if I click on each record, like this example, you see that it shows the address and the city, and then you can actually click on open to go into that record. Same thing goes for, here. You can click on that, and then it shows the actual address and the city that that record is in. So these are very cool ways to, play around and view the various types of list views that you have. And that's everything from me today. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Sarah now. And thank you very much for listening.
Great. Thanks, everyone. That was awesome just to learn a bit more about some of our features. So now we're going to open it up to questions. So will the file rename option become available for single file uploads fields with future updates?
Sure, I can answer that one. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. I have some great news for whoever asked that question, which is that it currently is available. So here I have a single file storage upload field. Let's just go ahead and scroll down just like what we did in the multiple file upload field as well. And you'll see that we have this option, uploaded file will be renamed to. So you can also enforce a standardized naming convention on single file uploads as well as enforce allowed file types. All of that is available.
Great, thanks, Garrett. Is the map panel available for public display? So for example, if we want to display where our grants are being funded.
What I would recommend for that is using our impact maps. And you can speak with support about perhaps showing your impact map on your public facing website. So that's a similar feature to that geo mapping that we saw via list view that Benki showed us. However, that's used for mapping our impact, and it's a full screen visual as well. So just making that internet enabled, I would recommend contacting support about your impact map. We have some videos, I believe, on Vimeo about how to create impact maps in SmartSimple. So also do reach out to us about that, and we'd be happy to assist you with that as well.
Thank you. Will the list views display multiple uploaded fields from the field or only one?
They will show multiple, and they will be separated by a comma.
So currently, it looks like that's all the questions we have so far. But if anybody does think of a question afterward, or they want to talk to us about any of the features that were covered today, you can definitely email us at platformsolutions@smartsimple.com. Like I said earlier, we're always happy to hear from you. Thanks so much to everyone for joining us today, and thanks to my team members for putting on such a great presentation. We hope you have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll be all talking to you soon. Have a great day, everyone.